Just when I thought things couldn't get any slicker, they getting slippery as ice going down like the blizzard right now in Kansas City. Y'all, this story was crazy. It was a mess. And after watching this whole thing, I was like, man, I can't do this thing alone, man. This is too much nonsense and hypocrisy and some fucked upness that's going on with this new movie or docu-series called Bitconned on Netflix. And I have the pleasure to be joined by one of my homies, my brothers in the building, Mr. Eddie Serrano. I played football with him at Mizzou. He's an expertise on the subject at hand because this man been in the crypto land for I don't know how long, man. What's popping?
D, what is good, brother? Thank you for having me, thinking about me. It's a pleasure to be here with you and talk some crypto, Bitcoin, and Bitcoin in particular, bro.
Yeah. I'm pretty. You definitely one of the more expertise person of expertise in the subject at hand. That's why I wanted to bring you upon to kind of get your thoughts about this piece of work that we had to witness just now. So before we get started, Eddie, can you tell the people a little bit about your background with cryptocurrency and whatnot?
Yeah, man, absolutely, absolutely. So, I first got into crypto, introduced into crypto back in high school, believe it or not, back when we were trying to get some fake IDs going. That's the first time I ever heard about cryptocurrency. I think I was a sophomore in high school, and that's kind of when the seed was planted with Bitcoin. And from there, a few years passed by. I ended up moving on to college, and then the Greek currency crashed. I forget the name of what the currency was, but that's when I really started to keep my eyes on the Bitcoin price and pay attention. When all the currency in Greece crashed, everyone who had over $100,000, all their money was scraped. So I was like, damn, this could happen to us one day. So Bitcoin around that time was around 400 bucks. I set up, my weekly $20 auto buys on Coinbase, and
So what year was this? What year was this when you first started doing the $20?
this was 2004, 15, I want to say.
Okay. So early in the game.
2015.
Yeah, we're early in
Yeah.
the game.
And at that time it was sorry, my son's right here. Let me at the time it wasn't like I was purchasing anything worthwhile or anything crazy, it was $20 reoccurring buy, so it wasn't anything crazy, but um I started getting my feet wet, so to speak, and then we had that big 2017 run to 20,000. And then obviously that was, a quick flash, but that's kind of when it was like, whoa, this thing's for real. This is for real. So, ever since then, been on the crypto journey, so to speak. A lot of ups, a lot of downs, but we're still in the game. And like any new technology, it's going to take time to get mass adoption. So
Yeah.
I'm
No, I,
excited to see what the future holds, man.
hey, it's getting started now. We had to get through that cycle of a couple years of down rot and decrepitness, but we moving on up right now. So you got me introduced. I know we talked about this during 2020, and you kind of gave me the lowdown and whatnot, and put me on game. So appreciate that, of course. And so yeah, very interesting subject of matter, and definitely, I guess in pertaining to the documentary, this dude. I feel like they didn't really know anything about it too much. Maybe the main dude did, but they kind of just they was looking on the scamming part of things. I don't think it really mattered what it was crypto or whatever it was. It was just trying to do the scamming part of it. And what was your initial thoughts after seeing this docu series?
It's finesses are going to finesse whatever the industry is. People are going to criminals are going to do criminal activities, and it's unfortunate, obviously, for the people that lost out on that, but it's no surprise in a new emerging industry, not a lot of regulation, and a place for criminals to do their thing. So
Yeah,
I don't condone it, but it comes with the space. It comes with the space, man. It's like you can just go make a crypto coin right now and pump a project, you know, and rug a bunch of people. So it's
yeah,
not my cup of tea. Making your money off scamming others. I mean, that's that dirty money as far as I'm concerned.
No, it is, man. I mean, look, there's some a lot of dirty money going around. I mean, look, we've all been scammed before too. I mean, I've been scammed. I mean, if you haven't been scammed, then I feel like you ain't lived at all. You ain't tried
Facts,
no new things.
facts.
So I mean, I got
Right.
scammed right out of college at a $2,000, and I was like, ah, snap, man. They said they was gonna double my money. They said they was gonna hook it up, and I was like, look, I guess I got to pay more attention, but that helps in the long run because you're able to detect things. It could have been a lot worse.
What'd you get scammed out of? Did you send Elon Musk $2,000 on Twitter?
I wish. At least I would have could have said it was Elon Musk. Nah, it was some random email I got, and I guess I was emailing people on like different jobs, applying different jobs, and they're like, "Oh, send me money through MoneyGram through Walmart, and we'll double your money back." And of course, it sounded sketchy at the time, but sometimes when you in the mental state of like, "Dang, like I want to pick up some cash real quick," you would, and you don't know any better, you willing to do whatever. So the immature mindset as well as being a little desperate definitely plays into the effect of getting scammed. And when it's something new, you kind of just like, oh, okay, like that sounds great. Like it sounds too good to be true that somebody can go to the casino and play penny slots and win the jackpot. But in reality, it'll take all your money away. So
Facts. Blinded by the greed. I've been there, been
exactly.
scammed. I've been blinded by the greed. I was blinded by the greed at the top of the last cycle,
Yep.
and
That's where we
no
all were.
no shames. Yeah, some people try and hide from it, but it's like, hey, I'm still here, still in the game. So it's like to your point, if you haven't been scammed, you ain't living, dog.
Oh, you ain't living. Well, we gonna jump right into it. The Bitcon that just came out, the Bitcon documentary that just came out a few days ago, so very, very new on Netflix. So it starts out with this guy named Ray Trapani. I'm not a big fan of the dude. I'm just gonna be completely honest. This dude seems like a scumbag. He seems like a prick. He seems like he's getting everything he wants growing up, spoiled brat, uppity. He's from Jersey too. No problem with the people in general from Jersey, but if you're from Jersey, you kind of act a little cocky for no reason. So already this dude set me off. But he's talking about how you got to finesse the American system to get ahead nowadays. Now I did agree with him on that. You do got to finesse to get ahead, and especially with the inflation nowadays, just the way the system works, you can't just play everything by the rules and expect to kind of make it. You got to figure out your own type of way. So that is one thing I did kind of co-sign with him on that. What was your first impressions of Ray?
Scumbag. But I mean, it's like, yeah, you can finesse the system, but don't finesse people. It's just like, but that's the type of person Phil is. So we're all on different ends of the spectrum. So that's the choice he wanted to make. But kind of the same boat as you is like the guy's just a scumbag as far as I'm concerned. Especially since he ratted on his people more than once. It's like, like that guy said at the start. It's ironic he has loyalty tatted across his side. You know what I mean? It's like the irony in that's hilarious to me.
Yeah, it started off as a big joke thing going on from the get-go. And yeah, during this whole thing, he's getting like tailored for a suit, which I thought was weird. And then they have him driving these fancy sport cars, and I was like, they trying to really prop this dude up to make them think he's King Kong and Superman up in this hoe.
It is funny you say that. They kind of did try to paint him out to be some type of good guy in some type of
Yeah,
fashion. Like, bro, you ratted on your friends selling pills when you were in high school. You took your parents' money and blew all of it, blew your last 100K at the casino, and then you turn on your boys at the end too. Is like that guy is as scummy as it gets.
yeah, and I'm like, why are they? The whole narration thing of him, it just caught me off guard initially because I'm like, oh, he might be the good guy in the situation or the good quote unquote good guy in the situation, but no, I just didn't like how they propped him up on a pedestal and made it seem like he was in The Godfather or some shit like that. And he
Right.
was having the inner monologues and talking oh, my life. I do whatever I need to do. I'm like, bro, sit down somewhere. You need to be shining people's shoes. That's what you need to be doing.
He
But
needs
yes,
to be he needs to be locked up. That's what where he needs to
that too.
be.
That too. We should have shown him in jail doing this, honestly, with some orange clothes on. But hey, maybe soon, which I won't doubt if it happens. But yes, we go and then we find out we meet this guy named Nathaniel Popper, and he's one of the only people who took the job at the New York Times as an editor seriously, because a lot of people apparently worked there and BS around the whole time, which was news to me. I mean, look, they don't print newspapers out no more really like that, so they probably big chilling up in there, and they probably laid off a bunch of people too. And there's not much, news to report on since we have Twitter and all these other news outlets. They don't really gotta get down with the cause like they used to. But yes, this guy started to get captivated by the Bitcoin rise in 2017, and because since it was the initial rise of the coin offering in the financial system, and we meet the three main people that the documentary goes talks about, which is Ray Trapani, Sorbi Sharma, and Robert Farkas. They all apparently went to high school together, but they weren't friends in high school. They just kind of just knew each other. And uh, Nathaniel talks about how to exploit the Bitcoin market, or no, Ray says how to exploit the Bitcoin market. He says they lied, cheated, and made millions of dollars, and now he's facing over 100 years. And said since he was a kid, he always wanted to be a criminal. Weird. He was always trying to be like someone from the streets. I was like, bruh, you from Atlantic City, Jersey. Stop it.
I thought it was weird too. He talking about, I always knew I want to be a criminal.
Yeah, I'm just like, bruh, you. I mean, he watching. I don't know, he watching too much BET. He watching Bad Boys. He watching something. I don't know what I not even. I mean, I don't know, bro. Like that was it just didn't make sense. He sound like he's just trying to sound like he's brag, like be cool. Like, oh, this will sound cool on TV, bro. You sound lame. Stop it. You sound like such a lame. This is stupid, bro.
I
So
agree.
yeah,
I agree. Is he still gonna? Is he still facing jail time?
no, as of now, no. So yeah, interesting. But he said also, he continues and said when he was a kid, he said he stole a prescription pad from someone and used it to get a refill on OxyContin and kept refilling it until eventually they were making $5,000 a day, and he until he got ratted on, and then he told on his friends. So when I knew you could get prescription refills and doing the whole nine what they did. I've heard of that. I mean, I've seen people do that before, but usually after maybe like you got to go to like different. I've seen people go to different pharmacies so they don't get caught up. Like different CVSs or different Walgreens, the same ones that offer it. Have you heard much about this practice, this malpractice?
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing about most criminals, it's always just some stupid way they get caught, right? So it's like he got caught, he got pulled over, he just made a mistake. Maybe he wouldn't have got caught. You know what I mean? So who knows? He might have been able to keep getting away with it. We know how the pharmaceutical industry is anyway. They're about their money, so they're probably
Yeah,
like,
they don't care.
we're printing over here.
Yeah, they do not care. They will give you the pill. What you need? Okay, here you go. Make a fake ID of the person's name that's on there. Easy, good to go. Like
Right,
very,
right.
very. Yeah. I mean, I've
There's
never.
that one. I was gonna say there was that one documentary where the female pharmacist, I forget her name, but she had her clinic just pumping as a full time pill factory essentially. She was a licensed pharmacist and she was just printing. I'm pretty sure she was in Florida. I don't remember, but
I heard about that.
it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me.
Nah, that was. I mean, look, $5,000 a day. I mean, I'll take that. Look, like we can keep doing this thing, you know. So those kind of crimes too. Like, look, he's selling drugs in the street. Don't be stupid. Don't speed. Don't just be chill, you know. But you get ahead of yourself. You get this money. You get this. You think you can do whatever you want, and then you're breaking the law already. You're gonna break the law in other ways, and then you're gonna get caught lost in the sauce. So that's just you got to be humble if you're doing something like that. You really got to humble yourself. But he definitely was not the type of person to be, you know, humble. So yeah, then yes, when he got caught by the police, he ratted on his friend who was black by me, I must say, black and Hispanic, and his friend kept having to go back to court and for about 2 years in a row, and then Ray got off scotch free. And I'm a conspiracy theorist on some things. I mean, it's ironic they put the Hispanic brother, in jail, and they don't give this white dude no jail time. I'm like, Coach, come on now. He got a baby, he baby face, like
Yeah.
his family's well off too, so that might have had something. They leave a lot of things out in this documentary, like what that process was like. They kind of brushed over that real quick, about the
That is a
whole
good point. That is a
the
good
whole
point.
yeah, it's just like, come on now. And they, they're in Jersey, I believe, too, at this time, which, Jersey's one of the richest states in the country. They don't care about the brothers and sisters up in there.
You
So
know how the feds are too. They love their snitches. I'm surprised he's not in a witness protection program at this point either.
yeah.
And I'm surprised, especially because I guess I'm jumping forward a little bit too, but with those South Koreans too, I was just thinking,
Oh,
yo, don't don't cross the wrong people. You're gonna end up chopped up to pieces.
hey, look now, don't cross around people, don't cross around borders. I think that's his last time going over there, if he's smart. But he ain't the smartest guy on the planet. So I think he might just step in the wrong village one day, and he gonna get a taste of his own medicine. No pun intended. But yes, we soon meet Sorby, Ray's business partner. Sorby's this Indian of the Indian descent, I believe it looks like,
Yep,
and
yep.
he's a business partner, and they knew each other from high school, but they didn't like each other, and they did not get along. So that's very interesting that he found this dude who is probably he seems like a pretty smart dude. Uh, throughout there's a little noise in the back.
Yeah, let me meet that.
Okay, okay, cool. I'll let that pass. It might be the vacuum or something going on, but it's all good. But yes, he seems like a smart dude. We don't get to talk to him because he's locked up. They won't let me out, Akon style. And yeah, I mean, I wish they gotten a little more detail about how they became business partners rather than just him knowing each other. That was very interesting. But maybe it's because Ray had money and Sorby knew this and they could use each other. He knew Sorby was smart. Sorby knew Ray had money. A match made in heaven, maybe, to get a business started, because it's not about friendship when it comes to business. It's about profits and whatnot. So who knows? Who knows? But yeah, then we eventually, they talk about, let's go to Miami, let's get this luxury car rental system going, but they need to figure it out. And Ray asked his grandfather to get a financing loan of $500,000. Woo! So this whole thing, when he said that, I'm like, look, this don't make no sense. Because if you asking for your grandfather for 500,000, you got money already. So why you doing all this other stuff? If he's gonna give you a loan for 500,000, you could use that to do whatever the hell you want. You could flip if you really. No, he ain't a hustler. He's a criminal. There's a big difference. You could flip that easily. You could put a bunch of that into a dividend portfolio, 100,000, and be good, making a nice profit off of that. You could do a whole bunch, but he decided to just take this money and do just nonsense with it. Now the car rental was a good idea. I will say the idea was very smart, but the reason why they got caught up with that. What you think about his family having all this money?
I thought it was funny that his grandma tried to play it off like, or Trapani was like, "Yeah, my grandpa was a mafia boss," and then the grandma's like, he was just in the elevator business. I don't really know what he did, So it's in the genes, man. It's in the genes. His grandpa was probably a warlord criminal as well. So the apple
Yeah.
doesn't fall too far from the tree. That's kind of what I got from that.
Yeah, nah, and this sound's gone by the way too. But yeah, it was interesting. I mean, they definitely was hiding something. They definitely was keeping it locked and sealed. So if he wasn't a mafia, it wouldn't surprise me. If he was doing a bunch of shady business, because like you just said, apples doesn't fall far from the tree, it wouldn't surprise me. And they're trying to protect him, even though he's deceased at this point. They got to protect themselves. So makes sense. Because what's the problem with, if he did legal work? Then why don't you just say it? If he was
Right,
doing elevator
right.
bit, like why can't we find him on LinkedIn? Why can't we find anyone who worked with him? Like what's going on? We missing a big piece of the puzzle right here in revolves. This dude could just hand out 500,000. Nope, you
Well,
can't hide.
grandma, yeah. Grandma told you everything you needed to know, and she said, "I don't really know what he did. I think it was the elevator business." It sounds like a typical criminal wife's
Yeah,
response, like El Chapo's wife. I had no idea my husband was involved in criminal activity.
she knew the script, coach. She knew what time it was. She did. This ain't her first time answering this question. She knew definitely how to do this. But yeah. he definitely was involved with something, y'all. Spoiler alert. But yes, uh, then he gets the financing, and they soon, yeah, they said they joke about his grandfather being the mafia and had a whole bunch of money, and then so they moved to Miami to start running this luxury car rental business, and it's going well. You know, they got all the hot new cars going out, and they're promoting it. They're getting the car. They get the cars from. They call it luxury exotics, I believe, and they're renting them out. And it seemed like that's a good idea. You know, everyone in Miami, especially, does music videos. They want to rent cars, and they come there to see that to be flying around the town. Everything. You know, Miami's the spot for Miami and LA are the two hottest spots for luxury car rentals, and San Francisco. And so it's going well. He said, but his friends and him were spending more money than they were making off the car rental business, and they were behind on a lot of payments, and they were basically losing money because they was lost in the sauce and that they was hot shit, and they were spending money, a lot of money on drugs, partying, this, that, and the third. Uh, what you think about them wasting all their profits off material things?
Hey man, if you've ever been to Miami, you know that place is just a vacuum to your pockets. You just feel like you have to spend money, right? So young guys making money out there, it's not surprising me at all. It reminds me of this stat I heard earlier this week that the average customer of Louis Vuitton and Gucci or one of these designer stores, the average salary of a customer is like 60K. So, it's all these people want to just floss that rich lifestyle and be someone they're not. So, it's no surprise that they got lost in the sauce down there. But Sorby, I guess Sorby had it coming to him too for stealing from Trapani earlier from the car business. So
Yeah,
I
no, he
guess he
did
kind
steal.
of got good riddance on him, huh?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Just thought to get, yeah, he's stealing from their own company and writing all the checks in his name, which was, I mean, that was some gangster shit, but that was fucked up. He said, y'all ain't my friends, really, because y'all was picking on me in high school, so this my lick back. He didn't forget all those times.
Right, man, right. But I guess the recurring theme here is that these guys, these Jersey boys, are a bunch of scumbags, huh?
Yeah, yeah, no, it's definitely, making me think about y'all Jersey people that I know. I don't know, y'all gonna have to prove y'all loyalty, no pun intended as well, because y'all out here, I don't know, y'all out here doing some scavenger hunting against the people that ain't got it like that, and I don't like all that. Y'all acting like Brett Favre out here, basically.
Yeah.
It's getting on my nerves.
I'll give y'all the benefit of the doubt. I'm sure some of you Jersey people are hardworking, blue collared folk, but these guys didn't put the best image of y'all forward.
Yeah, exactly. And so soon we find out that Ray was eventually taking advantage of his own family, trying to push his little business, but unfortunately, he was in heavy debt. And so he asked his grandfather for all this money, and it's down the drain, and he's only left with $100,000. And he said, "I got to do something. I don't want to disappoint my grandfather, bro. You already got caught by the cops selling icy cotton, betraying your friends, going to jail. You think that didn't disappoint him? You moved to Miami, away from your family, to start a luxury car business, which your grandfather probably has no idea about, and maybe a little skeptical about. That I mean, you doing in probably your upbringing, you skipped a whole bunch of other stuff because you didn't just become a troublemaker once you started doing the pills business, coach. So now you care. Now you care. But yeah, he went to Vegas with $100,000 left in his pockets and said, it's his last chance, like last chance you settings, trying to get the scholarship. And he had to put it all on black and it was red. And he had to go home and cry in the car. I thought this part was kind of funny. I just can picture because you see, I mean, you've been to Vegas, you see the people who's just like, they just at the table like this.
I just imagine him playing next to a bunch of old Asian cats. If you've ever played Baccarat, I mean, it's just hilarious watching them play and just monkey, monkey. So just imagine him just boom, hand after hand, losing it, losing it, losing it. I wonder what happened once he got to zero, man. It's like I
I
don't
know.
even know how he because he said he tried to off himself. So
Yeah, he
shit,
said,
I don't
yeah.
know.
Yeah, that's interesting. So yeah, when he lost all his money, he said he wanted to kill himself and took 500 milligrams of Xanax. I believe it was 500. I could be mistaken on the exact number, but it was a lot of Xanax. And he didn't kill himself,
That's
which
insane.
that is a lot. I mean,
One is like 2 milligrams.
yeah. So I mean, he probably was capping a little bit about how much he took because it's kind of hard to actually take all those pills. Like people you see in the movies or people just down in it. It's not easy to do in general. Um, I'm pretty sure he got pretty fucked up and mixed that with alcohol and whatever else. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. He didn't go to the hospital apparently either, like because of all these things. I don't. It just seemed a little fabricated. But hey, he said he tried to kill himself, so just had to take his word for it. And then he said his mother said she felt so bad and sorry for him. Good for her. Essentially, Sorby, he's raised down in the dumps and whatnot, and Sorby comes back to him after stealing his money, which is funny, and says, "Hey man, I just stole your money and whatnot, but there's this cryptocurrency thing that we should get started with, and it's on the rise." And then they have this other friend that they were working with in the Car Exotic group, and then they kick him out the group, and it's just Ray and Sorby now getting this started. So that was interesting. He just comes up out of the blue. I wish the thing is, unfortunately, we don't get to hear Sorby's side of this. Like, he gets out of jail in like 3 years, I believe. So they'll probably make another part to it when he gets out. But there's some definitely big plot holes because why would you just come back to the dude that you stole money from to offer him to work with you again when he has no money left? That makes no
Right.
sense. So there was something else going on that we're missing here, but
As we dive deeper into this, I'm wondering what these Netflix producers were thinking. Like maybe it was Trapani behind the camera too, man. He's just fabricating himself.
I, I don't know. They had the other people giving their like the other point of view to an extent, but I wish like there had to have been someone close to him during all this that kind of knew what was going on as well. I don't feel like this is all just him. Uh, and Sorby. There had to have been like another close friend in the details in the midst of things and whatnot, or somebody that just can clear some things up because it just does that just didn't make sense to me at all. That just these documentaries too. Sometimes they rush things because they have a time constraint. I get it and whatnot, but I just like the connecting dots. And when the dot is like missing, I'm just kind of confused. So that was definitely weird. But I'm sure Sorby had a reason for coming back. But yes, they eventually find out what cryptocurrency is. Sorby did his homework and he was in the lab during this time period. And they get started with this thing called the Centra card. And it was a debit card where you're able to spend cryptocurrency anytime and anywhere. So have you ever heard of the Centra card?
Not until the documentary.
Okay, yeah, I ain't never heard of it neither. So it looked legit though. They did look legit. I will give them that. So
I'll
yeah,
give it to them. They wrapped it up well. They did wrap it up well.
yeah, they definitely did. And so they all created fake LinkedIn accounts and said that they went to Harvard, made their business seem legit. They met a couple developers that they hired, and they were freelancing at different projects, and landed with a couple specific head developers that were Eastern European descent. Sound like they were Slavic. So yeah,
I
they
said
really
they're
trying
in
to make it with
Macedonia.
this. Macedonia. Okay. Yeah, they
Those guys were
just
G's. Those devs were G's. The guy
yeah
said,
they
"There's no problem that's unsolvable."
yeah they was ready. They was ready for the fire. At least they thought they was. But yeah, it was interesting that they. I mean, but look, back in that day, I think 2017 is like a big tech startup thing. That's a big time when that was starting, and so you want to get your hands on anything that's kind of new, and anything that's growing. And that was kind of the best time as of recent memory to be able to make something like that super super profitable. Um,
Hey, it's evolved, bro. It hasn't even gone anywhere. You look at the NFT projects now, and like I said earlier, you can go create a coin right now, call it DeAndre coin, and just market it well. So the game has shifted.
Yeah, it's changed. It's changed. It's changed. And yeah, soon we meet this guy named Jacob, and it's this random dude. I believe he lives in Denver. And he said he was investing in Bitcoin and Ethereum, and he eventually became a Centra investor. And he wanted to just be rich and travel the world. You know, the American or the not even American dream, the dream. And yeah, this dude seems like a quality guy. Regular everyday dude, quality, trying to get his money up, trying to support his family. I respect him and whatnot. And he's on it early too. Like he's on the internet looking for different ways, and he comes across crypto. And if you came across crypto, I'd say before 2019, 2020, then you had to have been in the books a little bit. Because it wasn't just at that point you might have heard of it, but it wasn't just like kind of coming to you like it did during the pandemic. So
Yeah, yeah. And to that point I made earlier is like, man, maybe a lot of those early people were criminals because I first got introduced to crypto was trying to get fake IDs, buying stuff from the Silk Road.
yeah,
So, that's the type of people that were purchasing crypto or interested in crypto at the time. So, looking back now, it's kind of crazy to think about. We finally have some normal people, so to speak, that are getting into the space for better reasons than what the previous motives used to be.
yeah, no, it was definitely some black marketness going on in there. But yeah, soon we meet this dude named Michael Edwards. Well, we get introduced to this guy named Michael Edwards, and this
AKA
huge,
old white guy.
exactly, old white guy. Who'd have thought an old white guy was gonna be able to be the face of the company, and nobody would raise an eyebrow for a while. Welcome to America. Is this huge investor that eventually became CEO of the company, and they needed a third. They picked this old white guy because they needed a third face with many banks. Many banks he's worked with in the past, such as like Wells Fargo, U.S. Bank, et cetera, et cetera. And to give the company solid backing to make people look it up. They see this dude. Oh, he's legit. He's worked for all these companies all these years. He has his old white guy face, like all the rest of them are that runs all these companies. Same status quo as we're used to. We can trust you. You can't even trust all these other companies, y'all. Just heads up. You can't trust
Can't
none of
trust the
them.
banks either, man. Can't trust the banks either.
You
Guess
can't
who's
trust.
washing the cartel's money? The banks. Guess what happens if that money ain't washed? The cartels go under. So this really makes you think it's all a scam.
They all could be fake people at the top. You know, they could all be just college kids running the shit.
Can we give a special shout out to the greatest investor in the past decade, Nancy Pelosi? You
Hey,
know, from politician to the best trader of our decade,
hey, she
makes you
doing it
wonder, man. Makes you wonder.
exactly. Definitely, coach. Definitely. This thing had this watching this had a lot of things going through my head. But yes, they eventually were getting lots of donations from people with this website launch. They did a good job. They did a good job of putting it together. I'll give them that. You could sell and you could put something together. You can sell whatever product. That's what you got to do when they did that. There's no problem whatsoever with that. They eventually gained so much donations and so many people getting the website launch that they got to start an ICO, which is big. That's huge. Out of something that's completely fake. I mean, good lord, it's like you're selling lemonade and calling it water, or selling water and calling it lemonade. It's it's crazy. So people were saying that they knew they kept. So we get back to Ray talking. And they say people knew that he was going to be a millionaire. They knew he was going to. That's all he talked about was money this, money that. But he was already rich, so didn't really make sense to me. But whatever. Once they started getting everything going, they got an office down in Miami to show that they were legit and hired 50 people and hired real developers to build a real tech company. So they trying to get this thing okay with some fake stuff. We making the fake beats in the lab with the ghost writers, but now we trying to do our own stuff and make the real beats, and we gonna be the writers. But we just needed to just get that start off, which I understand. That also can be how things work too. You got to start off not. It's fake until you make it, and I don't have a big issue with how they got started per se, to get things going how they wanted to, as long as they weren't scam. They weren't. they were eventually scamming people to get for the business, but they raised enough money to actually make it legit. So their intentions probably changed from sinister to maybe like, okay, let's actually do this so we can wipe our hands clean and not go to prison. Well, I don't know if that they thought the whole thing through. Maybe I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt in this situation, but
As
they
I
ended up.
say, you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
You're right. You're right. They definitely try up to their old sneaky ways.
Hey, we
Scooby
got
Doo
another
style.
bull market coming. I wouldn't be surprised to see Trapani trying to do something again. Like, who's the guy that had the Firefly Festival? He's trying to throw another
Yeah,
festival
yeah, yeah.
again.
The Fire Fest. Yeah, that dude.
Yeah.
He's trying. Yeah, he's trying to do another one. I'm like, bro, what? They never learn. Never learn. But yeah, they didn't know what they was doing. They was faking everything. They hired this guy named Robert Farkas, which we meet him as well. It's Sorby's girlfriend's brother to work with them. He was a former stripper, and they hired this dude to be CFO, which was funny. But yeah, he was apparently Ray was apparently doing nothing this whole time while the company was getting set up. He was getting lit at the club, partying, spending all the money like usual. Like you just said, can't you do old dog new tricks? And he lost all the money in Vegas, came back, started doing the same thing that fucked him up in the first place. That ended up going back to Vegas. So strange. Uh, this dude has zero credibility to his name. He's done nothing so far but just blow a whole bunch of money. Which why is he being the narrator of this whole thing? Don't know. But I digress. Then this random guy gave Ray his crypto information. Yeah, this so Ray says this random guy gave Ray's crypto information, but to a different brokerage account by accident. And Ray essentially stole all this dude's money out his account, transferred to his own account, which was about $100,000, and he still
While he was a millionaire already.
yeah. Why would he have already had the money? That made zero sense. I'm just like, bruh, this dude just getting lower and lower and lower. I'm just like, how? How? He admitted on national television that he stole money from this dude. Like, how is this dude able to do this? I don't get it. I literally
And we
am
got to track that
flabbergasted.
guy down. Someone find that guy. Let's track that guy down. We got to start a GoFundMe for him or something.
Honestly, let's do it, coach, because this is ridiculous at this point. You already a millionaire and you're stealing $100,000? Huh? I don't get it. But yes, they eventually get. Where was that? Yes, they eventually get. They meet Floyd Mayweather, reach out to him, and somehow they get his attention. But back then, Floyd is a businessman. He's just putting his money wherever. He doesn't care. Like 1 million, 2 million, he's like it's pocket change to him. So he don't really care where his money's going. He's just trying to jump on any business venture that's possible. He needs to get on Shark Tank if he wants to be real smart. But Floyd ain't the smartest dude on the planet. Uh, but you know,
I wonder
I
how
love
much they paid him. We know he got paid for that, but I want to know how much he got paid.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, the thing is, he had to pay all the money back to the investors too, Floyd, because he was one of the initial. He was one of the people who put down a lot, and then because him and DJ Khaled, they had to pay back the money that was in the company. I know that, but I don't know if they got paid anything out. So I wish Floyd or DJ Khaled would have been in this too. That would have been lit. Kind of to say there too. But the thing is, I feel like they really honestly didn't know anything. They were just had middlemen running to them with the information. I feel like they just weren't. They just don't seem like the type of dudes because they're they have their own things that they're doing to really get in depth and study what's going on. In
Right.
my from my opinion, but yeah, Floyd says puts down $200,000 initially to get 100,000 Centra coins. Like I said, Floyd ain't the smartest dude in the planet, so I'm not shocked that he did this. But I like Floyd Mayweather though. It's boxing, and some of his business ventures. Then they get a second endorsement deal from DJ Khaled, Miami guy, so they're able to be in the streets
Another
again too.
one.
Yeah, another one. Ray was in the club. He met up with him maybe prior to the club, and that's how it worked out. So I guess a good thing does happen when you go out and party and whatnot at a certain level, but who knows if that's exactly how it happened. So we go back to the New York Times, dude, Nathaniel Popper. He starts his research saying everything looks fishy. He's looking into the Centra coin because it's just popping off right now. And he's low key hating a little bit. But hey, he's like, look, let me just see what's going on, coach. and he goes to their length of accounts to see all the pictures, say all the pictures look fake, they look sketchy. He's sussing everybody out right now. And the New York Times eventually did come down there and they did like a photo shoot thing because they were impressed with everything that they did and it seemed real legit through all the shroud of lies, which they did that. They faked their way through the New York Times coming down there and they did the whole article and whatnot. So it's funny. I've just imagined them, they know they're coming down and they gotta like it's like when you threw a house party in high school and you gotta clean up the mess before your parents get home and everything looked nice and clean. Everyone's smiling, standing up straight. Meanwhile, there's a picture in the background tilted, and then
Right,
everybody's like,
right. Got a few sticky spots on the floor. Your mom's like, "What is that?"
yes, that's exactly what this felt like. Were you surprised able to get um, past this little endeavor?
I mean, initially you'd think like, "Yeah, I can't believe something like that would happen," but then you look at other cases of people getting duped by or CEOs or founders too, like Theranos, Elizabeth Holmes, things like that. Um, Bernie Madoff is like, if you look at history, it's like it seems to happen over and over again. So it's like, as much as I'd want to say I'm surprised, it's like it's not surprising. Nothing new under the sun. Another scam artist, another scumbag trying to defraud their investors. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm not surprised, and I'm sure we're going to see even more of these types of situations coming up. Oh, Sam Bankman-Fried, FTX. You know what I mean? Luna. It's like, bro, we'll never learn our lessons. You
Yeah,
know
we
what I
never
mean?
gonna learn, y'all. And then I'm looking forward if they do a Sam Bankman-Fried one. Well, I don't think they put one like on Netflix or anything like that yet. But the
They'll
whole
put
island and
one. They'll
they was
put
hooking
one
up with
in.
each other. Yeah, that would be
Yo,
interesting.
those interviews are hilarious too. His little girlfriend. We don't use stop losses. We don't believe in stop losses because
Uh, I was just like, what is going on? Jesus, that girl. Mm-mm-mm. But yes, we find out that yeah, they got through the New York Times ordeal, and we find out that the Visa font, Visa comes and says that no one has applied for a Central credit card, and that's when they start getting a little caught up in the sauce. When Visa starts getting, because they see their name on these cards and like, we didn't authorize that. What's popping? And so yeah, they're getting caught up a little bit. Then Nathaniel Popper says that Nathaniel Popper's, he's trying to be the good snitch, the good cop in the situation and bust them up. Um, and we meet this guy named Cliff High, yeah. Cliff High eventually starts going to a Zoom meeting with Sorby and the first thing Sorby says is, "One thing we're not is a scam." That's the first thing he says, and they're like, "Uh oh, we got him. We got him, coach." It's like that Drew speech. We got him.
Chappelle. Gotcha.
Gotcha, bitch. And yeah, he fucked up in this interview, and people are slowly finding out about them, and they're trying to clear up all the fake stuff of the company, trying to wash all the stuff that was lies and I guess fraud out of the window. Which, good luck. And everyone says they want to talk to Michael Edwards. They want to talk to Michael Edwards, but of course, they're hiding this invisible old white man. And so they came up with this plan, this Grandmaster Flash plan to kill off the CEO and say he died in a car accident and he was no longer working there so people could not talk to him. What do you think about this plan? Is it a good plan?
What do you think? Absolutely not. These guys just shooting from the waist. You know what I'm saying? Nothing thought through. No. To your point, it's like they started it and we're probably like, yo, we'll just make a little bit, but they probably try to correct course, but it grew too big for them to even control. But they're obviously not the smartest guys. Like you could have thought of something a little better than that.
Yeah. So anything. Find an old white man on the side of the street and hire him just to be a face, if you needed somebody just to protect yourself. But because we soon find the real Michael Edwards, and his real name is Andrew Halaikio, which, Andrew or Michael Edwards was never a real person. They got the guy pictures by looking up a white guy on Google, and it was just a random dude, as we discussed earlier. Bada bing, bada boom. And so soon they're like, all right, that plan didn't work. Uh, let's find another old white man. Let's get your grandfather, Ray. And so they get Ray's grandfather to be the CEO. And he said, fuck it. I don't care.
I'm gonna die soon anyway.
I mean, exactly. Like he gave no fucks at this point. He did not care, coach. He just like, look, just do right by me, Ray. Just do right by me. They're like, I got you, Gramps. This is all legit. Mm. Pissing on his grandfather while he's alive. It's a
Hey,
shame.
his grandfather ain't that innocent either, though.
Yeah,
We
he ain't.
know
He ain't. You know
he
what's
knows
up.
what he was doing. Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
I ain't gonna let him get off the leash that easily.
Yeah. No, definitely. You right about that. I was on me. Uh, and so his grandfather did have cancer at the time too. So like you said, it was the clock was already ticking on him. So it is what it is at this point. There we meet the guy in Denver who is the investor has been doing his research, finding out the truth, and that the new CEO he finds out, which is Ray's grandfather, he's getting suspicious. And soon a YouTube video launched saying that everything was sketchy about the company. Some people coming into this new Slack channel that they also created said a lot of negative things about Centra Tech because Centra Tech wanted a channel where all of their investors and anybody who was wanted to be part of the company in any sort of way could get a little say so in things and get their voice out there. It's pretty common, but yes, they eventually kicked the guy from Denver out of the group chat because he was talking hot shit. And he was pissed off about that. He got his feelings a little hurt getting kicked out of this Slack channel, coach. And he said, "It's my mission to take down Central Tech now. They didn't fucked up." And he says he couldn't stop thinking about them every single day because his. I'm pretty sure he invested money in it at this point too, and it's like they kicked him out the Slack channel. That's kind of a slap in the face. I mean, that's like being subscribed to a subscription channel and you don't get any of the perks. So I don't blame this dude. Um, but yeah,
I've been in those telegrams. You know what I mean? There was this project Wi-Fi, YFII with two eyes, and I was in there basically just calling them a scam. I was like, this is a scam. They're all trying to pump their bags up, and I sure enough got the boot. And I can relate to that guy a little bit. I was like, you know what?
okay.
Forget this project. I'm gonna make sure everyone knows this is an absolute scam. So I feel his pain. I feel his pain.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's it's tough, man, because it's like what can you do? But you can only fight from the outside now. You outside the fortress, and you got to do something. Because if you can't just let it slide. If you a real one, you can't just let shit like that slide. You got to do something, coach. And so I hope you
It's
got your
true.
lick back,
It's
Eddie.
true. Well, luckily I didn't I just traded it, but I was in there just trying to see what the vibe was of the project. But um yeah, no, I know there's definitely people that got rugged on that as well. So
Mm,
man, it's tough now too. It's like you can't even get back at these people on the internet for real unless you're just some type of white hat hacker or you know how to get into someone's computer. So
yeah,
I might need
definitely.
to go back to school and get some coding or hacking
Hey, you got to find some people
experience.
overseas, man, and get them for cheap, man. Find some people overseas.
Right, right.
But yes, we've soon seen this Korean company pop up and say they're going to invest $5 million. And Central Tech was trying to create a fake app to help the people from South Korea who contacted them. So they head over to South Korea, which is kind of insane. And they took the whole team from Miami there, started working on the real apps, trying to get the real thing set up, and working on this fake Central Card stuff essentially. And now the guy, they were doing interviews out in South Korea, and they were getting caught up in the sauce there as well. I'm like, y'all mess up overseas, y'all really gonna be let loose. So I thought it was game over at that point when they got this part of the story. I was like, oh, it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Yep. I thought it was going to be I don't know who the Korean equivalent of the Yakuza or the syndicate, whatever their crime syndicate is, but I for sure
Mm,
was like, yo, they're about to get got over here.
yeah. Oh yeah. You one look. I don't know. You've traveled out the country, yeah.
Yep, yep.
Yeah. One thing
I've
when
been to Asia.
well, you've been to Asia, yeah. I haven't been to Asia, but I know one thing: when you out the country, you could commit little petty crimes in the U.S. Like maybe like some people might shoplift over here or do like little things that really don't matter. But over there, you got to be careful. You seen what happened to Brittany Griner now? Come on now, coach.
Right. Right. She, yeah.
Following all the rules when I'm out the country. I ain't slicking nobody, coach. I'm the only thing I will break is I am gonna make sure they don't charge me extra for my bag on the plane. That's the only thing I'm sneaking. But everything else, look,
Yeah, everything
follow the
else were
rules.
good. Kosher.
Exactly. And so they eventually make a metal Centra card that when you swipe it, it just takes money from your bank account. So you can take the crypto from your bank account to pay for things with it. Of course, makes sense. Basically, in South Korea, they're trying to sell the Centra card to be invested with the Asian investors and other companies. So if you get it started, really launch it there really well, then they're set up for success legitimately. Since then they have a real company backing them. But when they get the app ready to go and they're putting it out to use for people, and buy whatever they're trying to. The people eventually try to buy. They show somebody at the grocery store testing it out to use it. It doesn't work, and it's locked down, and nobody can use it. And so Sorby, he's panicking. He's out in South Korea going to these meetings, head sweating, palms is sweaty, knees weak, arms is heavy. He's like, oh snap. He's itching, scratching himself. Probably popped a few pills in the moment too, and the car didn't work, but somehow, by some way, miracle way, shape, or form, with his maybe he had the complexion for the protection out there. He was able to make it shake, and they believed him, and they invested $15 million. What do you think about this whole thing?
I don't know. I want to know what the South Koreans were thinking. That's what I want to know. Is like he must have been smooth with his words. To your point, or that translator must have. They need to give him a bonus. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I, I was baffled. I'm like, huh? They were just like another dot missing. Like, what was it that broke the camel's back?
Especially since it didn't work. So I was like, for
Yeah, it
sure they're
didn't
not going
work.
to invest. But they're like, it's okay.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like if I could some I'll say some Zion Williamson stuff to where it's like you see this dude is like he has major potential to be one of the best players ever, but he got hurt in college, you know, and they're like, that they still took him number one overall, and they're giving him a chance to kind of prove his what potential that they saw, even though it wasn't much. Same with Kyrie. Kyrie, that's not a good example. I'll just keep it on Zion, but yeah, I compare it to that. Zion has, I want to say he's been a bust, but he definitely hasn't lived up to the hype and gave them their money's worth. So,
Yeah, no chance. No chance.
yeah,
He
probably
looks like the type of guys. He reminds me of a guy where he goes down, he might need to get euthanized. You
yeah,
know, he's one of those type of dudes.
hmm definitely. But yeah, soon we find an article comes out that's promoting Centra, the Centra card, Ray, and Sorby, which was not good because they're trying to make their business pop and make their money, but on the low scale of things. They don't want everybody knowing about their business. They just want to make their money on the bottom spectrum. They don't want to be, one of these big banks or anything that's super popular because then people gonna catch on to what's really going on. And the article comes out. Ray is blaming Farkas for why Farkas did the interview with New York Times because Ray was not present during that. Because Farkas was trying to, he thought he was doing the right thing by getting the New York Times, get free promo and whatnot, maybe get more investors by doing that. And I see why he did it. I mean, it's the New York Times. How you gonna turn that down? But he was. They're not the smartest guys on the planet as well. He forgot. Oh, we're not real. So I can see why Ray was upset. But that was kind of stupid on his part to do that interview in the first place. So
I wonder if at the time they eventually ended up convincing themselves that this was actually something legit. You know what I mean? It's like in the back of their mind, I'm sure they knew that. Hey, we're this foundation's built on a house of cards, but we're gonna make it work somehow. So I wonder what they were actually thinking and what their conversations were like at the time.
yeah, definitely because Ray isn't giving much transparency. He's talking like he's Rick Ross and the boss up in here and thinks he's, Don Juan, Don Julio, the Don, and thinks the way he just talks. I just can't really listen to very well. But he's not being authentic in my eyes. He's trying to play a character during this whole entire thing, and it's kind of just annoying, and I can't really take anything he says serious. But I can when Robert's talking, he talks like a regular person, and so when he's saying things, I'm kind of like, okay, this dude is actually like speaking facts. But yes, seems like Ray and Farkas are no longer friends. They don't like each other because of the differences of opinions they had regarding this specific situation here. And Ray blames him for the whole thing. Then this guy named Robert Cohen pops up and say he's an SEC investigator. When the New York Times article popped up, it brought attention to him because they were the people. Because once people are starting to make a lot of money, the SEC starts, they start raising little eyebrows and they get a little interested and they're like, "What's going on over here?" And so, yeah, the main thing they were trying to do is they decided, okay, the SEC is getting involved a little. Let's get this lawyer and make sure that the Centra card and the Centra company was in securities so they could avoid getting in trouble with the SEC. That's probably the smartest thing that they've thought of in this whole entire thing at this point. Get it in legitimate form, and then we're good. Use the investors' money to try and make something because y'all ain't done nothing yet but go to the club and pop bottles and champagne models. And so then this guy Allen becomes the general counsel, chief, and executive officer of Centra. They tell him that the guy Eric Pope. They hire this guy to be the lawyer. They said, "Oh, we found this guy online. He's been a lawyer for 20 years. He's got great experience, and it's perfect." But then they can't find his bar license at all. What you think about this whole when this guy Eric Pope, this whole Eric Pope situation?
Oh, hey, birds of a feather flock together, so it's only right that they all ended up together. Is kind of my thought on it. It's just
Yeah,
like you no due diligence was done on their part. So
yeah.
it's only fitting. It's only fitting.
Yeah, I mean, they never met the dude in person. They never had a Zoom call. They never did nothing. They just emailing this dude. And I'm just like, y'all got the game. Y'all wasn't y'all don't have no street smarts. Y'all have zero, like probably negative street smarts to where you're just doing things and you're used to finessing people, but just because you know how to finesse some people doesn't mean you've ever been finessed and learned how others work. And we find out that Eric Pope was actually a college student from Virginia, and his name was John Lambert. Now, I wish we got an interview with this dude. I'm so mad that they did not get this dude on the show because I mean, look, he probably was like, look, I can't get involved with y'all little show. I'm trying to, I'm trying to be smart unlike y'all and do my stuff undercover brother style. He's like, look, I got about 10 other lawyer names that I don't need y'all finding out about. So unless y'all gonna shovel me some more money than I'm making right now, I'm good on Netflix, coach.
Hey,
Um,
it's hard to keep the lies going. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing about lies. You got to make up lies for the lies, and then lies for that lies, and then just you dig yourself a deeper and deeper hole,
no, no, that hole was way
gaping.
more than yeah. It was pretty deep at this point, coach. It was deeper than the submarine that went down to find the Titanic. It was deep. But yes, another example of rich people doing dumb things with their money. But that's a whole nother documentary that's hopefully coming out sometime soon that I can't wait to see. And yes, all the emails that I sent to this guy was fake, and so he was scamming the people. Then the scammers was getting scammed. Essentially, Eric Pope was fake. And so soon, we find out Floyd Mayweather and DJ Khaled, they had gotten penalties because the SEC filed complaints against those two. We don't know how much they had to disclose. They disclosed in those penalty fees. And then Centra started trying to hide everything because once that happened to them, they knew they were next on the chopping block. And they were trying to get out while they were ahead, essentially. So soon the SEC started to make a lawsuit against such a tech, refuting all the evidence compiled out to go after them. When the investigation was going on, Sorby and Bray were fighting over debts and how they handled the Miami car situation. Because during the Miami car situation, they were still in debt because of that. Which I don't know how the hell when you make all this money, you don't pay off your old bills. That I know that. I mean, dang, they look dumber and like you said, dumber and dumber and dumber. And he was still in debt to his grandfather. What do you think about all these debts that they still have after they made all this money off these people?
Hey, it's easy to. There's a reason why would some crazy high percentage of those lottery winners go broke within a few years. It's so easy to spend that money. So low IQ guys, criminals. It's no surprise that that money came in, came out. You know, you didn't have to work for it. They didn't put no real value on it. It was there. What was Trapani saying? The money glitch. So it's like when you get money like that, that dirty money, and you don't put value on it, it's easy to just burn it, let it go,
Yep.
fly away in the wind.
Yep. Exactly. And yeah, Ray was trying to pay off his family debt, and Sorby said, "Hell nah, we ain't paying off nobody's debt except mine." And Ray was starting to get mad. He was walking back and forth, pacing, punching the air, and he racked up millions of dollars in debt, and he was panicking. So he eventually started cashing out millions of dollars in the coin and quit the company. Dang. He said, "You got me, I'm going to get you." And at the same time, his grandfather was very sick, had chemotherapy, and eventually ended up dying. So now he has his grandfather's estate as well, which they didn't even touch on, which I was thinking of the first thing. I was like, oh, they got his estate, they got all his money, which he had. So they're really fine now, on top of the money that he already gave them, which they want to conveniently not say, but let's let's not leave the elephant out the room. That was the answer right there at the end when I'll get to that eventually. I'll get to that end part. But yes, I'll just leave that little note right there. Apparently, he was taking. Apparently, Ray started taking Xanax like they were M&Ms because he was stressing. He was gambling, doing drugs every day, no responsibility, and has all this money to his name. And one day, he's playing poker, and he's at the casino yet again for some reason. Bad habits never die. And he gets a phone call. Sorby calls him and says, "Hey, man, I just got arrested for security fraud." Dang, coach.
Got him.
Got him. They got this man. Uh, he was playing too much games. And, I mean, this man's at the casino while he's getting a phone call from his homie. That's just funny, like how the cops didn't roll up at the casino and get him at the same time. But they eventually did. He went home. Roy's like he's like, damn, they got him. I'm next, but he's trying to think positive. He's like, maybe my complexion is gonna help me get out of this one, coach. Maybe that's the trick that's gonna help me out. But yeah, that night he eventually takes as many drugs just in case he was getting arrested. He wanted to be lit while he was getting arrested. It sounds like he needs to go to rehab to me and prison.
Facts.
And yeah, and then they come up to his crib, they get him, and then you coming with us, my friend. And they take him to the big house. About time. And yeah, I think it was due. I think this was long. I mean, the government takes a long time to do anything, and just took them this long to get them. So be it. And when he got there, they said he was facing 240 years in federal prison. Wow. Wow. And said they say since he basically got in trouble because they made a card and said it was backed by a Visa MasterCard, which was fraud on that part. SEC Homeland was using this case on the guy that's been trying to get them the whole time, the guy in Denver. So he's like, I got my lick back. He's smiling at home right now. He was cheesing when he got this news. So I definitely respect to that guy.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, he was apparently when Ray was arrested, he was on so many drugs. His lawyer told him that he had to go to rehab if he wanted to get everything taken care of. And Ray said, okay, Ray said he did go to the rehab 13 times. Um, and this time he's done. Like he's not doing anymore, which I don't believe at all. But April 4th, 2022 was his sentencing day for 22 felonies. Woo! That's wild, coach. 22 felonies. Would you be getting lit before you had to go get if you knew the cops coming to your house?
I wouldn't be that low IQ to stay in the States. I'd kiss my parents goodbye. I'm out. I'm never coming back to the US.
Man, it's facts, man.
But again, hey, low IQ and That's why I don't want to be involved in no criminal activity, raking up 22 felonies to even begin with. But his first thing should have been to have a plan to get somewhere abroad where he couldn't get extradited. But
Yeah.
low
He didn't
IQ.
even think about that. Yeah, exactly. That low IQ, all the drugs and stuff. Its brain just shriveling up even more and more and more. Can barely do a
Right.
simple math equation. But yes, so during this time, I guess Bray meets this chick within his last month of before his sentencing. Or no, no, no. He meets the chick while him and Sorby are like fighting, and he gets her pregnant after knowing her for a month. They say, and then he gets her pregnant really soon, and they get married within a month of knowing each other, which is interesting. He probably lied about telling her what was really going on, and she's like, "Oh, like you got money." She sees him with money. She's trying to turn up, and she's good, but she's probably just as shocked at all this news as we were.
That's
Wouldn't
what
shock.
that's what they're talking about when they say some people shouldn't bring children into this world. So I'm gonna say a prayer for that baby.
Yeah, definitely, because he's. Ugh. Yeah, I'm gonna pray for that one. But yes, apparently in the same, which I thought this was major cap, and used definitely for cameras. Apparently, his wife's water broke the same day of his sentencing, which I don't
The
believe.
universe is so weird, and the irony in so many situations is so bizarre that truth is actually stranger than fiction, is what I've come to realize. So it's like, while you probably are right, it's like I wouldn't even be surprised if that was the truth,
Could
because
be.
the universe is undefeated when it comes to irony.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it could. I might have to look at the baby records after this and kind of see if that's accurate, Coach. Because that just
Yeah,
seems,
let's.
I don't know, it just seems too good to be true. The cameras were there and all these things. But hey, it could. You definitely, I co-sign with you on that saying right there. Yeah, he said he met his wife while he had an ankle monitor on, and yes, within a month, she was meeting her. She was pregnant, and then they got married. And yeah, he talked about to her about this. He said and said it was a possibility that he could be going to jail. But she said, "Look, you my ride or die, and I just met you. You my love of my life. For love at first sight settings going on right now. What's that show? Married at First Sight that's on Netflix or something like that. It was those settings, Coach. They probably on
Yeah,
that show too.
yeah, yeah.
Um, but yes, he said, and then while everything's going on, he said he gave the FBI information to put his homie Sorby away for 8 years, which is fucked up. And then Robert was sentenced to 1 year. So he's in this whole room, like snitching, like hardcore, he's on Takashi 6ix9ine settings right now, I mean, Takashi, he's from Jersey too, I think.
You're
I
not
think he's
wrong.
from
You're
Jersey.
not wrong. Hey,
So,
we're finding something about these Jersey people. We're
yeah, this is
finding something.
yeah. Y'all is not looking good for y'all Jersey folk. Y'all got some fixing to do right now because this is not it. I mean, wow. But yes, he rats his homies out and they get put away, which I understand. Like the person in charge is gonna get the blunt of the blame. Um, so but I don't know the proper sentencing, what they should or shouldn't get. I have no idea. Like I think they should get if it. I mean, I'm no judge, but I would have thought they would at least get. They're scamming people out of millions of dollars. You're stealing money from people. I mean, you can go to jail for shoplifting, for certain things. Like if you steal something over, I believe the limit is like $1,200, then you're liable. That's a felony. You're liable to get sent to jail for like a month or something at that, for something that's $1,500. So you're stealing millions. I'm thinking, okay, at least 10 years, 20, maybe 15, for that amount. But 8 actually was shocking to me. I'm like, oh, that's not even as bad as I thought. I mean, it's a long time, but that's way better than I imagined. And then this one dude got 1 year. And then Ray got off with no jail time because he basically gave up everything and snitched. What do you think about the whole sentencing and jail, disparity?
Well, that whole system in and of itself is broken. We still
Yeah.
got people incarcerated for weed while there's states and people making money legally selling it. So that is a whole different conversation in and of itself. But that's a good question. What does the punishment? What is the right punishment for defrauding people from millions of dollars? Like, how many people lost are still recovering from losing all whatever they invested in? Mind you, I'll play devil's advocate here. The risk you run when you put your money into the stock market, cryptocurrency, whatever it may be. So you are kind of going to Vegas and you know what you're doing, but to that same point is like these guys were basically perpetuating that the scam. So I don't know. It's a good question. I think at least 10 at the minimum. Um, but that's a good question. I don't know. No less than 10. No less than 10.
Yep. Yep. So then he gets no jail time, and so at the end, everyone's laughing, they're having a chuckle, they know they finessed everybody in that courtroom. His whole family is like, yeah, we're good. His mom is laughing, his wife is kicking it back. It's kind of like an evil scene at the end of a movie where like the bad guy wins, and they're all like, yeah, we got him, and that's how it. But usually, they get that lick. The good guy gets that lick back. Nah, that's literally how this story ends. Is they're kicking it. It's happily ever after settings. And Ray said there was more money out there, but the FBI has to go find it for themselves. And the judge ordered Ray to pay back 2.9 million to the victims 2 months after his sentencing. And then soon, Ray ends up buying a new house. And the guy that's interviewing him says, how did you buy the house? And Ray says, Ray asked his mom that, and she doesn't really give a good explanation on how he paid for the house either. She says, she threatens saying, if you make him look like a scumbag during this, then I'm gonna be really pissed off. And I'm like, girl, you ain't got no say in this. This is Netflix. They can they can do what the hell they want to do. I mean, who do you think you're talking to? You that delusional to think that they're gonna make him look like a superhero in this, and he did the
Yeah,
right thing. I know this is your son, and you're gonna back him no matter what. I don't hate you for that, but let's be realistic, Karen. Let's come on, get it together.
he painted the exact picture that of who he was by himself. You know what I mean? And like we were saying earlier, I think Netflix painted him in a brighter, more positive light than what he really is.
Oh
I don't
yeah.
even think the guy should have got his own Netflix show.
Hell no. What? I was shocked the whole time. Like, how does this dude even talk? Like, how did they get green like this for him? Because they paid him for this too.
See,
So
I don't know. You know better than me. So the fact he even got paid off that is crazy.
yeah, he's getting paid. They're paying him for this, and so it's ridiculous. Now, this show is not top 10 on Netflix, which I thought was funny because it was just like,
They can't all make him like yours, bro.
hey, they trying to, coach. They trying. But it's hard. It's hard. They just threw some bullshit together and just made this trash dude look like a superhero. That ain't the recipe for success. This ain't the Joker. Okay, he ain't the Joker like he think he is. He's not. So just
Right.
cut the cap. He's Captain America at this point. That's what I'm calling him. So yes, they don't give a good explanation on the house, which, like I said earlier, I'm pretty sure since his grandfather died, he got a lot of money from that and from his grandfather because he was probably in his will because I believe he had no siblings. And, I mean, duh, like
Two brothers.
two brothers. Okay, two brothers. And his grandfather, if he would willingly give out a loan of 500,000, I can only imagine what he had in his will to give over. So that money alone, you need 20% to put down on a house, you know?
His dad, his just like Frank Lucas style. His grandpa must have had some buried out there in the a few miles off the turnpike out there in Jersey or somewhere down by the
Oh yeah.
docks.
Oh yeah. Easily. Easily. So I think that whole situation, I mean, just use your brain. I don't know if the interviewers weren't thinking about his grandfather being completely rich and all this other thing in the past, but I'm like, duh. I just thought it was obvious, but everyone's shocked that he bought this new house and how can you pay for it? They don't even show what kind of house it was. I'm assuming it was a nice house, but and he still has his like sports car, I believe, or it's one that he rented for this documentary. It could have been a rented one, but they're making it seem like it's his. But I personally don't think it is his. That's just my opinion, because I know how they do these little productions. But yeah, his mother's convinced that Sorby has money somewhere else too, and he's hiding money. And as of today, no investors have been paid back any money from Central Tech. The government took back $100,000 of Ethereum, and Robert Farkas seems to be the most honest out of this whole bunch. Yet, he doesn't, or but he said his piece and whatnot. And it's 8 years to see till we get Sorby's point of view on the whole situation, and we'll see what happens with that. And that's how everything ends. So yeah, like I said, my whole what they're saying.
We need a Sorby in jail interview.
We do. They can do that. I don't know why
That's what I'm
they
saying.
because they he gave a little memo. He gave a little memo saying all the stuff because he heard about everything that was said in this, and he laid a statement that's saying none of that is true. And I'm like,
You know
well, some
what?
of it got to
It
be true.
makes sense now. You know what it is? We just figured it out. This was all funded by Trapani's grandpa. He made this. He funded this himself. That's why he painted himself out in such a good light.
That does make sense. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked, Coach. I mean, look, that definitely. I mean, that makes sense because he probably was like, "Oh, we don't want Sorby to be in this," because he's probably behind the scenes too, calling some of the shots. And he said, "If Sorby's in this documentary, I'm not doing it."
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he has the leverage because he's not in jail. You ain't got no leverage being in jail to be doing a damn Netflix special, you know.
Now he's got all our attention. He's got our bandwidth. We're focused on him. People are talking about him. The guy's a master scammer.
Yeah, he scammed Netflix too. I'm just playing Netflix. Y'all didn't get scammed. Nah, they just trying to put something different out there and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, I give this documentary honestly a 4.5 out of 10. Look, it was interesting to a point, but there was just too many loopholes to that didn't make sense. I don't like how they painted this dude to be the protagonist, and they made everyone else seem like secondary characters that they got played by this one dude, and he's just, he started off with money growing up, and then at the end he got out scotch free with all the stuff that he did and admitted to. It don't make sense to me. I don't like it. There's no good moral compass to this story at all. It's like, oh, do legal shit, and if you got the complexion for the protection, then you'll be off scotch free. I mean, he got good teeth, so he got a nice dentist, and he looks like he's decently physically fit, so he's taking care of himself in those regards. I mean, he doesn't, I guess he's not at the age where you start seeing the drugs. But I don't know. That was mine. What would you give this whole documentary?
I agree with you. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 4.9, only because it is talking a little bit about crypto and putting it out there. But to your point, a lot of holes in the story, and the fact that they're trying to paint this guy in some type of positive light is like, I ain't with that at all. Like, that guy's just a complete scumbag. We don't need people looking up to people like that. So,
Oh man.
crypto, there's definitely that is the silver lining of the whole thing. Some more awareness of
Yes.
crypto, but it's like, I guess it is damaging too. It's like the narrative with crypto is that it's a scam, it's not real, and so that's not cool. But any type of attention is good attention. But this is not what crypto is about, or you know the positive use of what crypto can be and the potential of what crypto can be.
Exactly. Well, y'all, that was a review of Bitcon, the new Netflix documentary that just came out, 2024, new edition style. Appreciate y'all joining us for this recap and reaction to the show. Thank you, Eddie, for joining me. This was a pleasure to have you and give your expertise on the opinion. And you was definitely putting people on game to a lot of things. So this man definitely know what he talking about. If the people want to find you, Eddie, tell the people where they can find you at.
I appreciate you having me on, brother. It was fun chopping it up, reviewing, the Bitcon documentary. But you guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram. It's Ed_E_S, EdES on Twitter and Instagram. So follow me there. D, I appreciate you, brother. We'll be in touch soon, dog.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. This is a great time, y'all. I appreciate y'all joining in, and we out here, y'all. Till next time, peace and blessings, and have a wonderful rest of your day.